This is Jeremy Howard, Donatello from the Michael Bay TMNT films, and you are listening to Justin on Epic Tales from the Sewers.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your host, the totally radical, if slightly mutated, Justin.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Epic Tales from the Sewers, a co-production with Shellanomics. Hi, Mike.
How's it going, Justin?
Going great, man. We've got a great guest today. Such a great guest that we decided to team up in a turtle team up. And today we have the Guinness World Record holder for most TMNT memorabilia, the TMNT Collector. How's it going?
What up? What's happening, guys? Super
exciting.
Super happy to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. You know, we were talking a little bit before about turtles and stuff, and we could see a little bit behind you, audio listeners. You know, he's got like this whole setup of these glass cases. He's got the Bull Airs shooting Donnie jersey behind him, but pretty extensive collection there. Wow. Smokes.
Yeah, there is a lot of Ninja Turtle toys that exist.
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning here there, Dave. One of the most interesting things about you is that, you know, you started young with collecting and all that. What's your origin story like with Ninja Turtles? Doesn't even have to be collections. Could be the first time you saw it or the first time it really spoke to you.
For me, it was the cartoon. Like, I was born in 81, so, you know, in 89 when it came out, or 87, I guess, when the cartoon came out, I was 8 years old. And, you know, I've said this before, but Playmates had great marketing, and that was back to directly sell toys to kids in cartoons, right? You can't do that anymore, which is probably a good thing because look at how we grow up. But yeah, like I seen the cartoon and I was like, oh my God, I want these toys. And, you know, my first year, I wanted Raphael. Like, after watching a few episodes, I was like, yeah, Raphael is my guy. Like, you know, I was the kid that was like, I have to be the red one. Right. And I didn't get Raphael for Christmas that year. I got Donatello because Raphael was sold out. And, you know, then as soon as Raphael came in, my mom got me a Raphael. Then I was like, I have to have the other two. And I think that's where you can't just have one turtle thing started, which, you know, Ninja Turtles was pretty clever because they're like, we're going to sell you the same figure over and over and over with different colored bandanas and clothes. Oh, and we're going to throw in all of these other guys too. So really, it was, you know, I related to the show. I really liked it. It resonated with me, you know, as a kid that age. And then, you know, 1990 rolled around. I'm like 9 years old, and Zellers. I think you guys are US. I'm not sure if you had Zellers.
We are. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you had Zellers in the US.
No, I don't.
It's
No, we had like Ames and Zare, you know, Bradley's.
So it was like a Walmart, Target, you know, like a big box store, and they were having a modeling contest, you know, and they wanted kids to model for the flyers. So, you know, my mom took me up and signed me in, and we got to pick our own clothes. So unintentionally, because I had no idea back then, but I guess it was in my blood. I picked the like Ninja Turtle Canadian
Oh yeah.
denim jacket, denim pants. This was the actual like audition photo, and how it worked back then was if you got chosen, they paid you, and then they just took this and cropped it and put it with a couple other kids and slapped the Ninja Turtle kids clothes this age and the price on the flyer. And my mom had the flyer, but she lost it, but she found the audition photo. So this was
Awesome.
little size 7 Dave Fawcett, with his Justin Bieber hair way before Justin Bieber, rocking
Before it
the
was cool.
Ninja Turtle Canadian tuxedo. So, and then I was a kid and I was in the Zellers flyer, and it kind of felt like I had a little bit of notoriety, and people were like, "Oh, you're the Ninja Turtle kid from the Zellers flyer, right?" And I don't know. I think I became the TMNT collector then without the name. You know what I mean?
So you're riding your bike around, and you've got your Ninja Turtle bike, I'm guessing, with like the green tassels and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you're that guy, and everyone's like, "Yeah, he's a turtle guy." How
I
does that
I
how does
don't
that
know if it was
translate?
a bike. I don't know if it was a bike. It was more, like roller skates and skateboard,
Oh, okay.
right? Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was it? It was the Nash skateboard at the time with like the plastic trucks on it or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
How about
yeah.
the food back in the day, Dave? Which was your go-to turtle snack? Was it the cereal? Was it the Crunchabungas, the fruit snacks?
Um, I love the fruit snacks. I love the gummies. I'm not sure. I remember having Crunchabungas, but I don't really remember what they taste like. And I remember turtle pies for the short amount of time they were out. I
Mhm.
I feel like I ate a lot of them because they were like, 12 cents.
Mike, do you remember Crunchabungas? Because
Yes,
I
I
can tell
do.
you what, they were like honeycomb. They were big ass like cheese puffs that had like a pizza sort of flavor on them, but they were like honeycomb the cereal. It was crazy.
I'll have to ask my buddy Justin and Dave because the Frito-Lay's actually re-released, not the Crunchabunga, but the exact same flavor years ago. I'll
What?
have to ask, what it was, but they hand to God, he's like, dude, Mike, you got to get this Frito-Lay chip. It tastes just like the old Crunchabunga. And I'm like, how the hell do you remember that? That's like, a 20-year-old snack, but he hit it on the head and it was damn good. So I remember those. How about the ice creams too, guys? I mean, I don't know if like for us, we had the ice cream truck, $1 for a turtle and some big gumball eyes. I'm sold.
Oh yeah, I don't know what they were called in the US. There's always that like culture shock, but up here the guys were called Dickie D, like the little
Oh,
ride on ice
Yeah.
cream guys with their like bikes that would drive around the neighborhood and ring their little bell. And
Yeah.
have ice creams. Yeah, they were. The company up here was called Dickie D. Like so.
yeah,
Um,
we had
I
good
actually
humor,
have.
man.
I actually have. When Dickie D went out of business, they had all the things in a warehouse, and I have one of the labels that they let me like peel off. I use like a
Holy
little
crap.
scraper and got like the label for the ice cream. You know what? I have it like on a thing over here.
Wow. So we got ice cream, we got snacks, we've got, a young model, and quite possibly you could be the first live action turtle. So, in that. So, and then
Right.
then moving forward and all that, we're getting into junior high to high school era and all that. Where's your level of turtle fanness at this point? Are you like secretly hiding it like I am? When you're like you have to pick a name in Spanish class and you're like, Raphael. Then everyone, is it like that, or is it like you're like loud and proud, man?
No, I think we skipped a little bit. Like I did the model thing. That was the same year that the movie came out, and I was
Okay.
still like a kid, like 9, 10, right? And 90. I was 81
Probably
to
third grade because you and
9,
I are the same age. Yeah.
right? 9, right? So, and then to the movie theater, and it was like they're real. You know what I mean? Because to a kid, it was like we seen this cartoon, and then you go to a movie, and it's like they're real, right? Like how, there was a few movies before. I think maybe He-Man,
Yeah.
right, was a
1985.
cartoon, and then you went to see the movie, and then they were real. right? So it was like, whoa, these Ninja Turtles are real. It took a couple years to realize, okay, they're not real. That was just, like movie magic special effects that we couldn't even fathom. Like it's, such common knowledge today with technology and stuff. But back then, like we didn't have cell phones. It couldn't be like, man, how'd they make the Ninja Turtles real? Let me pull out my phone. You know what I mean? I don't think we even had like computers, like home computers back then, right? It was just like, wow, this, especially to a kid, nobody was like looking at me and being like, they're not real. They're just actors in suits. You know what I mean? Right. So there was that whole wonder of it. Going into like high school, I had all my toys, and you get to a certain age and you want to start decorating your room with, like music artist posters and stuff like that, and I always had my first two Ninja Turtles, my soft head Don and my Movie Star Mike. I always had them out on display, but for, most of my teenage years, I would still buy stuff, and then I would, just put it in bins, like put it in bins, put it in bins. Um, and it was like that for a while, and then 2003, Peter Laird, started the new line, and it kind of like revived it. Then I started grabbing up, all kinds of stuff, and yeah, it just kept going from there. And then honestly, I kept it, like my collection, I kept it private. It was just like I didn't even have it on display until probably maybe 2018. Like I just collected it and
Oh, wow.
kept it in bins. And then, my wife, we moved into like a new house and blah blah blah. And I was like, hey, I think I'd really like to like get my Ninja Turtle collection out instead of just stored. You know what I mean? Like I knew what I had. I would have a few things like out and about. It would be mixed with some other stuff. And I was like, can we have an entire Ninja Turtle room? And my wife, being a collector, was like, well, and can I have a Star Wars room? And can we have a Nightmare Before Christmas room? I'm like, wow, absolutely. Right. So, I have
Fair trade.
a Star Wars dining room, like kitchen. People hear kitchen, but trust me, it's protected. It's good. We have a good fan. Everything is okay. Star Wars kitchen, Nightmare Before Christmas bedroom, and then we have the turtle layer is the living room.
Oh, that's fantastic. I was going to ask how your wife felt about this, but it sounds like she's on board, with all that. And she likes Nightmare Before Christmas and Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I want to ask you, Dave, is how does your maintenance go? Like, do you rearrange your collection every couple of months, and how long is it to dust everything off, keep it in good shape?
I dust, like I'll surface dust the little bit of surface that is actually, how the surface always seems to get more dust than anything else.
Always.
So I'll like surface dust, but there's really not too much surface. When I have, like when Guinness wanted to shoot the video, and I've had the news come and stuff. Because I have children and I have a grandchild too, right? So I have a friend. Shout out Billy Bad. She amazing cleaner. She comes and cleans like all of the glass and
nice.
and we get it pristine for like video and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not a lot. Like I have a really good HEPA filter in my house, so we
good.
really get a lot of dust. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's kind of like a rotation, right? If I see a surface getting dusty, like I'll clean it. It's like a rotation.
That's fantastic. I like too, like that you've got the glass cases and all that. That keeps things. I've got two myself, but I mean to have them all lined up like that, it just looks like this awesome museum. It's really impressive.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 D12 cases. 12 D12 cases, my big under the TV case that is actually two terrestrial reptile tanks connected together, and I put a floating shelf in the middle. We have
Oh,
a bookshelf. We have two CD cases from IKEA back in the day that sit on either side of the TV, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 floating shelves.
now let me ask you this. We'll move on to the Guinness stuff a little bit here. So you have the Guinness Book of World Record for the most pieces of TMNT memorabilia. What is the official count on that? And how many do you actually have?
The official count at from the time when I did it in February 2025, after all the restrictions and stuff, was 2,195.
Wow.
Now, that doesn't count movie props. It doesn't count no movie props, no doubles, no customs. Anything that came packaged with more than one figure, 2 packs, 4 packs, 3 whatever it may be, each one of those is one individual item.
Okay.
No, like I have the audition scripts from when the guys auditioned to be the Turtles. They don't count. I have autographed movie scripts. They don't count. It had to be officially licensed, commercially available, worldwide. So
Oh, worldwide.
worldwide. So what that means is, I didn't count any of my Hero Turtle stuff. There's a thing with the Hero Turtles because in the UK, Hero Turtles was all they had up until a certain point.
Yep.
Right. So if I
They
was
couldn't use the word ninja, I believe.
if I was in the UK, my Hero Turtle stuff would count up until a certain point, and then switch over to Ninja. Right. But so I was like, well, I'm not going to count any of that, and I have lots.
Wow.
Right. No
Well,
Hero.
let me. But I know that we were talking a little bit about like the restrictions and stuff like that. And it seems like it's kind of like a pain in the neck, so you don't have to go into all that. But
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about this. What is the most unique piece, or a piece that has like a story that's almost more interesting than what you have? Like, is there something like that you have that it could be included or not? It's just about your collection. It doesn't have to be part of the Guinness.
I would say, the audition script for sure. My life size Krang that
That is awesome.
you
I
know,
thought you were going to say that because that thing is amazing.
that was by the Devil's Latex. He did a great job. I bought it for, a few $100s years ago, and it's foam and latex, right? So it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you got to be so gentle. So, when I started being like a guest at Comic Cons, like, I'm going to bring Krang and just let people pick it up, because who doesn't want to hold Krang on their belly and, take a picture? Some kids are scared of it. Dads generally love it. Wives look at it either like, oh my God, that's so cool, or ew, what the hell is that? But, they humor their husbands. And another thing, you know what? I might be able to turn my camera here and show you guys. It's nothing super impressive, and I think probably anybody could do it. But when I came up with the idea, I had asked if anyone asked for this before, and all of the guys said no. So I have just plain white 8x10 paper that I brought, and Peter Laird did a quick head sketch. Kevin Eastman did a head sketch. Jim Lawson did a head sketch. And Steve Levine did a head sketch. And then they all made, Jim colored his own bandana, and Steve colored Kevin and Pete's bandana on the drawings, because he was, the Mirage color guy. So it's these four. I got a frame, and I framed them all together.
Oh,
And
that's gorgeous.
you know what I mean? Like that, those are the original four.
That's really something.
Right. And I was
Wow.
like, I don't know why more people didn't think of that. And like, I actually got them to do that on a Saturday at a con. Well, not Peter. Someone else got me the Peter one. And I had it and I brought it with me and was like, okay, you, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. And they were like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And I was like, yeah, I don't know why more people wouldn't have thought of that, but you got to be a real kind of deep Ninja Turtle fan to understand, like these guys are the original four, like Pete and Kevin started it. And then, they brought Steven to do color, and they brought Jim in to do lettering and blah blah blah. So it's like these were the original four, and I brought the Peter with me. I got the other three done on the Saturday, left the con, went straight to Hobby Lobby, found the frame, went back to my hotel room, put it all together, and brought it with me the next day. Like, look, and they were like, wow. So
That's what I love, because Kevin was like, "Oh, that's so cool!"
right, yeah.
Just that guy. Yeah.
I'm
Also-
working on a second frame. I got Eric Talbot so far. I need a Dan Berger,
Dooney. Need Michael Dooney.
Dooney, and probably Ryan Brown. That's going to be a hard one to get, but that would be my second frame.
I would say for Mirage, that's pretty spot on. Yeah, if you're going with Mirage.
But yeah, I would say that is super unique. I have, I don't know how rare they are. There's not a lot of people I see with them, but I have some soda cans that were actually licensed, but they were only in Australia. Right?
Oh, that's unique. That's got to be a tough thing to come by, right?
Yeah, and I got all four. Right?
Wow.
So, yeah, that was pretty lucky.
And it's like the little things like this. Like I held on to like the cans of iced coffee from was it Pop Culture Coffee for like the same reason. They're just really cool to have around.
I have the pop culture. I had all the Pop Culture Coffee stuff, but I kept the Raphael, the TCRI, and the Raphael coffee. So I have those three with like my vintage juice boxes and cookie bags and little bag of like gummies and Jello. Right. Like I have, over here I have like chapstick and the little party wagon, nail brush and like, yeah, just I'm really into the very kind of weird merch. Like I have figures. There's not very many that, I would still need. Right. And a lot of the ones that I say I need, it's just because I don't have all the accessories for them yet. Right. So which can cost more money than the figure nowadays.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's
so we know you're the TMNT collector. Your wife's into Star Wars and Nightmare Before Christmas, but some people may not know you also had your own show called Show and Tell. So what inspired you to do that, talk to other collectors? And one in particular I like is how you treat all your guests with respect, because you help, similar to how wrestlers do, like they try to help get the next superstar over. You're very selfless and giving to your guests. And the one I liked a lot I wanted to talk about was the sneaker one, because you actually gave some sneakers to your guest. So can we know a little bit more about Show and Tell in that episode in particular?
Yeah, that was Show and Tell. Well, I mean, I spelled it SHO letter N and Tell to try to make it a little more cool and hip. But that spawned from COVID. We were locked down. I had just started my Instagram in like 2019 for the TMNT Collector. Because what happened was, I had another Instagram because I also do like hip hop music, or did hip hop music. And I had another Instagram, and once I had the room set up, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Right. So I had taken some pictures and I sent them to NECA, just like via DM, like, hey guys, love your stuff. Keep pumping out the just kind of being like, like, look at how much of your stuff I got. And I sent them pictures of the room, and I actually got a message back like, holy crap, like, is this your collection? And I was like, yeah. They're like, this is insane. And I was like, thank you. And they're like, can we post these pictures? And I was like, absolutely. So it was like the second week of December in 2019, they posted my collection and they tagged my other account and was like, check out this epic collection. Like, this is the NECA Collector of the Year kind of thing, right? And a bunch of people started following that account. So a friend of mine was like, you need to make a Ninja Turtle account specifically right now. This is something. So I'm like, what do I call it? And he's like, I don't know. Come up with some cool, name, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a collector and I collect Ninja Turtles. How about the TMNT Collector? And he's like, I'm sure that is taken. Type, 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 type. Click here for this username. I'm like, oh, it's not taken. Let's see how that works. And I took those same photos
Nice.
and I posted them on that one and made my bio in the other account, like, for Ninja Turtle content, click here. And, I posted a few more photos and blah, blah, blah. And I got like 5,000 followers in a week. So then I'm in this weird thing because I wasn't a big social media guy at all. And I was in this weird thing where, I was like, what do I do here? So I called my daughter, who I think was 18 at the time. And I'm like, come over and show me how to Instagram, you know, right? Like, yeah. And she came over and showed me some things and blah, blah, blah. And it just grew and grew. And then COVID hit. So then it was this weird thing where it was like, I couldn't go out to like the thrift shops and there was no toy stores and I couldn't, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't go anywhere. So I was like, maybe I can meet some like-minded people. Like all these people are starting to follow me. Maybe I can meet some like-minded people. Maybe I'll have something they need. We can trade, they can sell me stuff, blah, blah, blah. And this started happening. And then I was doing, like video calls with people because that's all how we hung out with our friends,
Yep.
right? And they start be like, yeah, like showing me their collections and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, something in my brain and my friend NorCal, rest in peace. We were talking and I just like snowballed into this. I was like, man, like you should see these people's collections, blah, blah, blah. And we were talking and I was like, maybe I should go live and invite people on to show their collections. Right. And because also with the social media growing and I'm starting to learn like how it works, I'm like, if I go live from the turtle layer and I have people on, then my followers get to see their stuff, but their followers
You
will
got it.
see my stuff. You know what I mean? And, the
community,
followers
I like it.
going and it created this big thing. And show and tell was literally just like, remember show and tell in school?
Yeah.
So show and tell, it was just, I was like, okay, well, we got nothing else to do. Let's all look at collections and, enjoy ourselves because you couldn't just call your homie and be like, hey, I'm coming over to hang out. Like, you go over and like do stuff with your collections. Right. So, yeah, that's how show and tell was born. And the shoe thing was,
Yeah, that was cool.
Bull Airs, love Bull Airs, right? Huge supporter of everything they do, but their TMNT stuff is amazing compared to anything else that was on the market. So, as the following grew and show and tell spread, then I started getting, guests like Renee Jacobs and Townsend. And, I had Ernie on there, Paige Turco, Scott Varner Steve Varner and Scott Hensey, who actually hadn't talked or seen each other in like years, but Hensey used to always do all the bad guys and Varner did all the good guys, like sculpting for Playmates. So I had both of them on at once. So I had like an original sculptor reunion and we just started coming up with these crazy ideas. But the Bull Airs thing was like, Bull Airs was kind of just starting out. So Tom was like, hey, when you have that guest on, tell them I'm going to make them a custom pair of shoes just for them.
How about that?
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. You know, it was just like this community of giving and everybody getting along. And, you know,
He made those slippers for Pete, you know, like those Master Splinter slippers he made just for Pete. He never even really had to resell them. He's like, nope, these are for Peter.
Yeah, no, I actually have a pair of those.
Oh, cool.
I wore them at my wedding.
Did you? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was the first person to wear Bull Airs to get married.
Wow.
I had my black suit, a Ninja Turtle tie, and bright pink-ish Master Splinter loafers from.
So you technically have 2 Guinness Book of World Records then.
Okay.
I mean, my wife, you know, we started the kind of plan because we just got married on May the 4th, 2024.
Oh,
right?
Star Wars right there. Perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
And we started planning a wedding and, you know, picking this and that. And I was like, do you like any of this? Like, you know, I'm one of those like be brave, not beige kind of people. You know what I mean? And I was like, why don't we have like a Star Wars Ninja Turtle wedding?
Hell yeah.
And she was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm like, we love karaoke. Why don't we have karaoke as well as a DJ? And, you know, if we're going to have Star Wars Ninja Turtle, why don't we have cosplayers? So we literally had like a Star Wars Ninja Turtle karaoke cosplay wedding. And it was the best time ever. And
what did you sing? That's what I got to know.
Me?
Yeah.
Old time rock and roll.
Oh, Bob Seger. Okay. A little classic.
Yeah, that's the only song I can pretend that I can sing my way through. Everything else I do is, you know, Eminem or Biggie or Vanilla Ice. I like doing Ice Ice Baby or Ninja Rap. People seem to enjoy that one.
So you had dropped that you were a hip hop artist, and I was gonna get to this one too. So, do you have specific rhymes about the Ninja Turtles? Like, do you have like a go-to or anything? You're like, yeah, I wrote this song. It's called Shell Shock, and you know, here it is. You know,
I do, but I don't know if I'm ready. You know what? If I play something from my phone, you think the audio will come through?
we can give it a shot. Sure.
Yeah.
We'll give it a try. I'll give you first few seconds because we're kind of holding on to this or something, but
okay.
You might recognize the voice at the start.
This is April O'Neil reporting live from the Turtle Lair, where the TMNT Collector is set to make an announcement. My sources tell me this Channel 6 music exclusive will send a shockwave through the community. Stay tuned as this story unfolds.
The TMNT Collector here to get this party started. Regardless of what you thought you knew about me, I'm an artist. The hardest in this rap shit, crazy, I'm going back here. Swing swords like Leo, I slash them and let them have it. Mad is the baddest, like celebrity status. Every move that I make, it takes me into the stratus. I feel the turtle power flowing through my veins. Looking at the turtle layer like this dude's insane. Wanting to get my bag like the moving game. So I'm a cooler tang, homie, you should do the same. Come on, everybody, yeah. I got to do the gospel and I'm listening to me. That's all the ghost like team.
All right, that's enough.
There you go.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Did you see all 3 of us in sync with the head bob too? That's because we grew up with that's like the old school rap right there.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, rap.
That's why I tell people when they're like, what do you like to listen to for hip hop? And I'm like, I don't know, like Big Daddy Kane and Heavy D and the Boys.
All right.
And it's like, they're like, that's the old stuff.
Anything released before 1995?
yeah, kind of. So, I'm
you know
I'm
what?
like right there.
The 90s were pretty good into the early 2000s, but yeah, I can't get down with the new
Mumble rap.
Like, yeah, you know, it went from simple, really dope sampled beats and
good stories too. Good stories
all
in
about
there.
the lyrics and lyricism to really, really overproduced and kind of just mumbling your way through. Like, hey, I respect anybody that's making a living doing it. You know, like I'm sure when we were sitting back and rocking the Biggie and stuff, you know, our parents were sitting back like, I don't hear any guitars and all this guy's doing is talking, right? Like, so.
I like it. My parents come in. Is that Michael McDonald in the back? It's like, yeah, man. It's like, you know,
but
that's awesome.
Yeah, that song, we're just working out a few more things, and I think I want to find someone and do like an animated video, because that at the start that was Renee. She did that intro for me.
Well, that's what we want to get into next too. Is well, number one, we've had all these cool turtle crossovers. Hopefully, your wedding inspires a TMNT Star Wars official comic book crossover. I mean, why not, right? We've got Naruto, we've had Godzilla, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so Star Wars may be the next big thing.
It would be amazing. I don't know if you've seen, if you guys know Collector Dibs, but he did the Star Wars stuff, and we got.
I have his Hellboy turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Dude Baka, like it was Michelangelo as Chewbacca. Like I was like, I need this figure, because Scott Hensey had been the one who sculpted like for the sculpt for it too. Yeah. So I was like, I need this in my life. Look it up, Dude Baka.
So good. I'm taking my notes right now.
Did you see the Casey Jones and Carbonite?
Like photos after the fact kind of thing, but I can send you a photo of it.
Oh, I'd be down for that. So with your TMNT fandom, you've met a ton of celebrities. We see them on your Instagram. You've met, Rob Paulson, Townie, all of them. And you've really developed this amazing connection with Renee Jacobs. She's been on your Instagram. You guys interviewed the Bubblegum Girl, among other, shows. So tell us what that was like and how you decided to reach out to her and say, hey, are you up for, being a co-host with me on my show?
Renee is the sweetest woman in the entire world. So, as a young kid, just like every other little boy in that era, April O'Neil was like my first crush. So once my Instagram, I think, I was coming up on maybe like 10,000 followers. I had interviewed Frederick B. Owens, who's Leatherhead and Traximus, right? And Goldie Roger and One Piece and like a smorgasbord of other things. Because I was doing show and tell, and then I met Fred because he actually like lives in my city, right? Yeah, Leatherhead lives,
where crazy.
So that's nuts, right? And we became friends, and I was like, hey man, like, would you like to do an interview on my Instagram? And we did it, and it was received really well. So I'm like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I looked up Renee's Instagram, and I'm like, okay, she only has a few thousand followers. I'm going to see if she wants to do an interview. And I just shot her a DM, and I was like, hey, lifelong fan. I'm not trying to be a weirdo or anything, and feel free to say no. But, I just did this interview with my friend Fred. I do these like lives with the community, and I'd love to have you on. And I guess I know she told me, she's like, I went and I watched a couple of your lives, and I looked, and you seemed like a really nice guy. So I replied to your message, and, I had her on a couple times. She connected me with Townie, who connected me, with everybody else. Renee has been a huge detrimental part of like all of this. But yeah, I interviewed Renee, and it was great. And, I've helped her with like some of her social media stuff. Sweetest woman ever. She, and yeah, we talked online for like a couple of years, and then she got booked on a con up here about 40 minutes from my house. And she was like, I'm coming to the turtle lair, like, just so you know that, like, I'm not coming that close and not coming to see this collection in real life. So I was like, absolutely. So we went, we did the show, and then Frederick was also on the show. So me, my wife, Renee, Fred, and a few other people, we went to Niagara Falls because Renee had never seen Niagara Falls. And then the next day she came here, and we hung out in the turtle lair, and we did a live, and we did a giveaway for a signed April O'Neil like carded vintage figure. And then yeah, we just been, good friends since then. I've met the movie cast, Judith, right? Like Ken, Brian, Robbie Wrist, Ernie, love Ernie. Me and him had a really good time in New York, and in White Plains, New York. He is a fun guy.
We took
Um,
the same plane home from Terrificon. You know, he sat 2 seats in front of me. It's funny.
yeah. But yeah, anytime I'm around the Tooncast, the movie cast, any of the guys, it's just love and family and joy and cheer, and I absolutely love it. And I feel like, they like me. And it's pretty cool for a kid who grew up listening to Ninja Turtles to have, through the power of social media, become friends with all of these people.
And to keep that same subject, Dave, how is it like when all eyes are on you? Because like you mentioned earlier, you've been to Comic-Cons. Again, if you guys check out your Instagram, you've actually been featured as a guest for movie nights. So can you tell us a little bit about how humbling it is for you to have people reach out and say, hey, we want you to be a part of this movie night we're doing?
That is absolutely amazing. And Ninja Turtle fans, I don't know if it's the morals that, like you grew up with the Turtles, because, I don't recall, because I really didn't watch a lot of other things, like pre and during Ninja Turtles, like maybe Astro Boy, Inspector Gadget. I don't know. There was something about Ninja Turtles that just, I had the horse blinders. Like it was Ninja Turtles or everything else in life. Right. But they'd have turtle tips, the end of everything. Make sure you recycle, or make sure you wear your sunblock. Right. And it's almost like they were conditioning us to be good people.
Very different than the Star Wars fandom, right? Like, they're intense, man. Like, someone will stab you for like an extra C-3PO like accessory. You're like, whoa, man, calm down. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm absolutely appreciative of, every person. Like when I do shows, man, I don't even know. Like I have 8x10s, and if somebody, like when people want them, they're like, "Oh, how much?" I'm like, "Give me $5." Like, do you want me to sign it? And they're like, "Of course." I'm like, "Okay." Like it's still weird, but um, I do have an autograph now, because Renee, like I had one for my music, because that was like a whole other thing, but I came up with this like neat way to write TMNT Collector, and Renee was like, "You have to write Dave Fawcett. You can't just put TMNT Collector."
Yeah,
I was like, "Okay," so I had to like figure that out, right? But yeah, so it's absolutely awesome. Like I love it. I love talking turtles with people, right? Especially people that are really like enthusiastic about it. Um, and other collectors. When I did show and tell, it wasn't just Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? The whole thing with show and tell was like, no matter how big, no matter how small, whether it's, if you customize the figure or you only have one figure, like we had a little guy, probably 6, 7 years old. His name was TMNT Mario. He had a collection, maybe like the first time he came on show and tell, like the size of the shelf there behind you, right? And then, you know, a few months later he came on and it was 3 shelves, and like I was like, oh, like this is fantastic. And his parents were the ones running his Instagram, and they were always really excited when I'm like, let's get Mario on. It was great. And we seen some crazy stuff. Like some people came on that had, like the coming out of their shells tour costumes, and like we seen some
Benjamin. Oh,
What?
Benjamin Baldwin.
No, I don't think it was Benjamin,
Oh,
but
wasn't Ben? Okay,
I don't. You know what? Maybe it was. I love Ben.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all cool kids here.
Wink. Oh, that's
Right. Of course.
I got another question for Dave here. So we're looking at all this. You've got all these turtles behind you and all that. There's got to be one piece for each character that kind of sticks out for you. And it doesn't have to be like your favorite or anything else like that. But like, do you have like a Raphael that you just walk by and you're like, damn, that is the coolest thing. I just love that thing. And it could be like a koosh ball. It could be like a straw. Like, is there something that you have that's Raphael that just resonates with you?
Undercover Raph.
Okay.
I have
There's a rare ass figure.
right? So there's Undercover Raph with the cloth coat. I have a custom Undercover Raph that's a repainted Undercover Don. And then I have the NECA movie Undercover Raph. I have the NECA Toon Undercover Raph. I have the quarter scale NECA Undercover Raph. I have
Oh wow,
the Super 7. Did I say that already?
Yep.
The Super 7.
that's a good one.
Raph. I have the Undercover Raph is my favorite character all around. Like, if you put Undercover Raph on it, I'm gonna buy it, even if I like Undercover Raph or artwork. If you draw Undercover Raph, I have a good friend, Peyton, who I met at a toy show, and she was very nervous, and she's like, "I want to draw you a picture," and I'm like, "My favorite turtle's Raphael." My wife's like, "Undercover Raph, if you want him to love it." Right? And she drew this amazing picture, and I hung it in the front hall of the turtle lair. And then for Christmas, she painted me a movie Undercover Raph on a little canvas. So I cannot get enough Undercover Raph. Michelangelo, Rappin' Mikey, obviously.
Okay, yeah,
That's mine too.
that's yours, Mike.
Yeah,
nice.
that's my go-to too.
Rappin' Mikey, Leonardo. Let me see. What's the big with Leonardo? Let me see.
I know my favorite. My favorite is going to be the Last Ronin NECA figure. I love that one.
I think with Leonardo,
Yep. Oh, he's waiting. This is the one here.
Yep.
Rappin' Mike, always the best.
The NECA Hunchback.
Oh, solid choice.
Right? Like that was, and also that popped in my mind because we all know about AliExpress, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do.
So they had these, they look like knockoff NECA Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
And I ordered them. And I was like, it's $13 for like a Ronin figure, Invisible Man Don, and a Hunchback Leo. And they had a picture of like the NECA ones. And I'm like, it's $13 for 3 figures. What is the worst that can happen? They sent them. They were these cheaply made little figures. I'll grab them.
Cool.
But they're the exact same size as the OG Universal Monster. So I was like, this is better than I thought, because I don't.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll send you a picture. You're gonna have to like add pictures to this, but yeah, they scale perfectly. Like I have them standing right here with Invisible Don and Hunchback Leo with Bride of Frankenstein, like on the back shelf of my Playmates Universal Monsters. And for Donatello, favorite iteration of Donatello. Oh, Slam Dunkin' Don.
I kind of figured that's what you're going for based on the jersey that you have there.
Mm-hmm. I actually, we spoke about the shoes. I actually got to give one of these jerseys that Bolaires sent with me to Barry Gordon, who is Donatello. So I got to give Donatello a Slam Dunkin' Don jersey. That was a good day.
And he's like, all right. He loves
it. That was really good. Barry is like, you know how like Leo's a leader, Ross the badass, Mikey's party animal, and Donnie is like the smart one, but kind of the responsible one too. That's like Barry with that friend group. Like these guys, I'm not sure if you guys have spent any time around them.
Oh, I have.
But they're very much, even outside of the con, they're very much a lot like their turtles. You know, like their personalities, right? And you just in conversation, you hear it come out. right? So
You're
very
telling me Rob Paulson is a smartass? I believe it.
right.
Having talked to him for 5 minutes, I believe it.
I posted a picture. I'm not sure if you guys seen it of well, me and Rob posted it together
With the smile, right? We're getting it right?
with the smile, and it was one of those like you know, I was like, "Hey Rob, like can we get this picture?" Right? And I gave my wife the camera, and right as I like went to like put my arm around him, right? He looked at my wife and Debbie and was like in the Raphael voice, like, "What are you doing with this guy?" And instantly, like my sarcasm kicked in. I was like, "Pfft, I'm joining the Foot Clan." And then we both started laughing hysterically, and my wife got this like genuinely happy moment photo. Right? Like, yeah, so he's very Raphael. Maybe that's why he's my favorite, because I'm kind of sarcastic too.
I could understand that. So, and that's why I went with red for our banner, because I knew Raph was your guy. So that's really cool. So it's really nice, and I don't even know if you noticed this, like just like everything about like your voice when you were just talking about like that piece of your collection just like went up, and like there's this joy that comes out, and it's like, man, that's you. It's really exciting to like be able to be a part of that and just like share it. So that's exciting.
I did a reel yesterday for some stuff that McFarlane sent me, and somebody commented, they're like, I don't know if you realize this, but you sound like Michelangelo, and like not in a bad way. You just sound like a Michelangelo. I was like, thank you so much. And in my head, I was like, I'm a Raphael. Right?
Yeah,
So
I switched. I'm a Leo guy, but I spend a lot of time in Mikey and Donnie land. So yeah,
Yeah. You sound like you have a voice. Like you were doing a pretty good Barry there.
I do Barry. I do a really good Krang. So that's my thing. I do some impressions. So
we got to have you hold
TMNT.
we've got to have you hold that Krang that Dave's got next time you guys hang out, and then just have the Krang there and have Justin do the voice. It'll be perfect. So one other question for you, Dave. We've got the second movie coming back to theaters, and when they did your little short about the Guinness Book of World Records, I want to get some clarification. I could have sworn I saw a custom Vanilla Ice figure in your collection.
Yeah.
Can you explain where that came from, please, for us?
How about that?
Was by another cool kid named Jason on Instagram. He's Motu Customs.
Okay.
MOTU_customs. And this was something that he had just came up with, and I seen it and I was like, I need this in my life. So I bought one, and I had it for a couple years, and then I had the opportunity to meet Vanilla Ice. So I brought it and was like, can you sign this? And he was like, meeting Vanilla Ice was the craziest, best experience of my life. Like the first time that I met him, because he already knew who I was, because
What?
Jason, who travels with him in the Michelangelo suit, followed me and told him all about me. So kind of same thing. They're coming up here. They invited me out, introduced us, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, look at this footage of this behind the scenes footage that I have, and gave me his phone. And he like took my phone and was like showing everybody in the room, like, look at this collection, follow this guy on Instagram. Right. So I got him to sign the figure, and he's like, where did you get this? So I messaged Jason, and I was like, hey, if you want to send me 2 more, I'll get one signed for you and send it back. And I want Vanilla Ice wants one. And he's like, okay. So that's
No problem.
Say no to that. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the hook was not available, and they didn't get a copy. Yeah.
The hook. What do you mean?
Wasn't that his entourage? The hook. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
No, the hook is the hook of the song.
Oh, okay. I thought that was his entourage.
When he says "Yo VIP," let's kick
VIP.
it.
Okay.
VIP, Vanilla Ice Posse.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was the hook. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you live and you learn.
That guy in Peter Pan, right?
Captain Hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you got to meet the Iceman, and he already knew who you were. You're going through, and
Social media is so powerful. When I first met Kevin Eastman, I walked up to the table and, he looked up and he's like, I'm like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, Dave? Great to see you again." And I'm like, "I never met you before." And Courtney was standing right there and was like, "You're the Ninja Turtle guy from Canada." I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah." And they're like looking at each other confused, like, "We never met you before." And I looked at my wife, I'm like, "What's going on right now?" And she's like, "Just talk." I was like, no, we never." And he was certain that we had, and I was like, "I have never met you in my I would remember." You know what but that's the power of social media, because when things are popular on social media, even if you don't follow a person or something, if you're in anything similar, their stuff will pop up, or somebody what maybe sent them a video, you know what I mean? But yeah, like that was absolutely insane to me.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
right?
Have you had a chance to meet Pete yet?
I have not. The last show that he was at, I never I went out to like Comic Cons and toy shows and stuff, but it was always like searching for toys. I
Yeah.
never went to like the big Comic Cons, because I was like, that's a lot of money to get in when I can go to these toy shows or thrift shops or antique malls and blah blah blah, right? And actually like meeting the people in it was never extremely on my radar, because first of all, it didn't come to Canada a whole lot,
Yeah.
right? This explosion of Ninja Turtles that really seemed to like kick off around like 2017, 18, 19, um, has brought them up here, a lot more, and also at the same time brought me down there, right, to the US. So I don't know, everything happens when it's supposed to, right? But yeah, I would love to meet Peter. I don't know if it's on the thing. I've spoken with his daughter. He knows I exist, like
That's
she,
pretty cool.
I was chatting with her, you know, um, and I said just, "Hey, I'm not asking for anything at all except maybe can you let your dad know that I got the Guinness World Record for Ninja Turtles, and here's the link to the video," and I didn't hear from her for a couple days, and then I heard back. She's like, showed him the video. He thinks it's really cool and said, "Congratulations." I'm like, Peter Laird knows who I am. I'm good.
That's fantastic. Come on, man.
If
Love
I
it.
if I ever get to meet him, awesome. I hope so.
That's
But I
cool.
met everybody else almost.
So I wanted to go back to just one thing. You said that what got you back into this was that was a 2003 era of the comics, like the Tales of the TMNT. Have you kept up with the comics since then, or are you like in and out? Like where are
Uh,
you with
I've
comics?
kept up more with the toy. Like I get into the comics, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I have the first 15 of most of the comics that, went past 15, but
I
I have,
figure comics have to be part of the collection. So
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I have a whole bunch of comics. I have my, um, original, like, number 1 to 12 in a display case with the one of ones, like the Raphael and Casey cover, and like the one of one covers in there. I got the Return to New York trilogy in there. I have, a long box here, a few more long boxes but it's kind of, the first, like the Turtles in Time, they only did the 4. You know what I mean? I have the
yep.
whole set, right? I have yeah, I'll get in 5, 10, maybe 15 books into a series, and then it's like I have the IDW, the whole, 150 of those, right?
Oh, nice.
I have the adventures. Not all of them, but I have a majority of the adventures. You know, I think I have maybe up to like 50, like the original, like number one, like 1984 number one up to like 50. I think there was only 60 something in that line. You know what I mean?
I
So
want to say, yeah, it's like in the 60s. I don't remember specific. I know the Adventures went to like 63 or something, or no,
yeah.
73, and then that went slightly longer than the Mirage run. So, but
Mhm.
no, it sounds like you're right in the thick of it. You know, like with
But
all
I
the
really like
comics.
the toys. You know what I mean? I spend more money on toys than I do on comics.
Don't tell
Well,
my wife.
So what's the future of the TMNT Collector? I'm pretty sure. Do you plan on breaking your own record? Because and actually, this is going to be a good question. I don't know if anyone's asked you this yet. Are you excited that Mattel is going to be taking over the Turtle toys next year?
I am interested. Full disclosure, Playmates and TMNT has been, just like for all of us hardcore TMNT fans, that has been TMNT is Playmates and Playmates is TMNT. You know what I mean? Like whether you like them or not, like the Mutant Mayhem, the Rise, 2012, 2007, 2003, the Michael Bay stuff in 14 and 16, the original line from, 88 to 96 or 7, I think. The 2003 stuff all the way through is all Playmates. So there's a certain I just hope that they make an affordable kids line and it's not just
I like that.
all, for like collectors,
I like that.
right?
That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Not
Because
somebody
if
buying
someone
all
with
50
5
needs at
kids,
Target.
I've got a kid that liked this series, a kid that liked this series, like the
Yeah.
span of my kids over their ages, and now I have a grandson. So hopefully, he comes over, he plays with my half shell heroes and stuff. But I hope there's you know, $8 to $10, $11 range Ninja Turtle toy for him to be able to get to. You know what I mean? I hope they hold on and make that like mainline still for kids toys. Because if not, then it's just going to be for collectors, and there's not going to be anything for the new generation, and that could, you know, end it. Sure, they'll make a ton of money from us because we got adult money, but they're not going to be making, new fans.
Yeah. And I got one final question from my end here. Now, the old saying goes, a magician never reveals his tricks. But for the Turtle Brotherhood, is there any collecting tip you can share with our listeners here that most people don't know about? Any tips you got for them?
Stay off eBay, man. You'll eventually find it in the wild, like blowing through a huge fortune, trying to like keep up with the Joneses, like I have people, I'm like a cog in the wheel, some companies send me stuff, I post it, and I give honest reviews. So if you see me post something, it's because I genuinely like it, not just because they sent it to me. I've done reviews before and sent it to them, and they were like, we don't want you to post that. I'm like, okay, well, no
That's why I was
problem.
kind of interested to hear what you were saying about the McFarlanes. To be honest, I was like, what'd he say?
Right? I like them. I like when Best Action came out, I was expecting a little bit more from them, you know what I mean? But they were a good price point. Like they were right there between a kid's toy and a collector.
Yeah, like right around 1999 something, and
Right?
now we're
Yeah,
looking at 24 with the page punchers.
Yeah. The McFarlane doesn't make bad figures. Like quality wise, McFarlane makes good, solid figures. The Ninja Turtles are solid. There's good articulation. like I like them. The Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm happy to have the 4 turtles together. The Bebop and Rocksteady are huge and heavy. You know, they're very McFarlandy, right?
No, you save a ton of money without using eBay shipping too, because shipping is just crazy now, man. Especially if you're buying something from out of the country, because a lot of stuff's in the States. So you're almost paying like double the price just to get that $10 figure. It's almost you're paying $20 to ship it too. So
Yeah,
it's a great tip.
Easy, you know, and they're out there in the wild, and it's better. You know, it's satisfying. Like if you got the money and you see something and you've spent a decade looking for it, spend it. But you know, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna get this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you know, be patient, play within your budget. You know what I mean? I explain to people all the time. They're like, oh my god, you have so much stuff. I'm like, I've been collecting for so long. Like, I got my Channel 6 news van almost complete.
Nice.
With the Green April,
The Grails.
Irma, the Toon Shredder, and Burn at a garage sale in like 2000 and I don't know, something for $20.
Just hanging out. No one knew what it was. Yeah.
No. I've been collecting Ninja Turtles since nobody really cared about them.
Yep.
You know, because up until even, you know, maybe 2015, 16, even after the Toys That Made Us episode of Ninja Turtles, I seen prices just go, you know, because there's only so many made of the vintage stuff. You know, I don't have any reissues. Right? I have one. I have the Super Shredder because they gave him a gray helmet instead of a black one.
I was going to say, you know, it would probably be an undercover Don if you did, and then it was repainted. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I have all the vintage stuff and the price. You know, putting out the reissues was a great thing for collectors because
get them complete.
Like they mock. You know,
they just released Scale Tail, I think, not too long ago. One of the older toys was kind of a harder one to find. So yeah, for new guys, it's good. Or if you're just trying to get them for your kid, $20, they're complete. You don't even have to go fishing for those hard to find accessories that are, like you say, $20, $30. Like those, I'm sure those press passes that you're talking about for your Toon toys, they're not cheap either. Those ones are hard to find. Like the little, you know, badges they have, they're press pass. So
yeah. Yeah. Playmates with their license ending the end of this year, they should, like, they announced did you see the military 4-pack that they're doing for Toy Fair? Yeah. They need to do like a Scratch and Hotspot 2-pack.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and maybe
maybe full court.
Go all out. Yep. He was half court was good. Court. Yep. The draft was
pack. You know what I mean?
The undercover turtles that are hard to find with the coaches, bring them all out.
Right. Yeah, because those undercover turtles, the body is just the Toon Turtle body.
Oh, if that's the same mold? Oh, wow.
Right? The body is the Toon Turtle body. And, you know, they could make the head if they didn't have it. Right? Yeah. They might not be as good as the original ones, but people would buy them like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, like, generationally, this is something that you could give your grandchild or give your kid and be like, hey, just go hog with this, you know? Yep. Right. I mean, I grew up with a Michelangelo with 2 left feet. I didn't care. You know, I loved it. Soft head Mikey with 2 left feet.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Soft head or hard head, David? A bonus. Yeah, I'm a soft head guy. That's more originally. Soft head or hard head for you?
I have.
Which one you prefer?
I have all of the soft heads, and I also have all of the hard heads. As a kid's toy, do you guys know why they were soft head in the beginning?
I know why they got rid of it because of the little hazard, right?
No, they were actually like He-Man, you know, a lot of He-Man soft head. They did that with Ninja Turtles because it was cheaper for production.
Oh.
And then once they seen how big the line was, they were like, yeah, just make the head out of plastic too, because we're making money hand over fist.
I just love squeezing that Bebop soft head. It's the best one. It's like a big squishy pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
The ones they didn't make were the Foot Soldier in April, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Foot Soldier in April.
completely molded heads. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a weird one. I wonder how that would have gone. So, yeah, but that's interesting. Dave,
But
man, this has been a blast. Like,
Yeah.
just you're such a unique, positive voice in the fandom and all that. I'm glad that we got a chance to talk to you about this. And like I said, just talking to you about like some of the items in your collection. It's like, to me, that's the interesting story where it's like, well, what's going on here? And
mhm. Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
got, I've got some really neat stuff. I got a poster from 1986 today.
Really?
Yeah, it's all for it's on my Instagram. But yeah, it was by a company called First Comics, and it's a
Yeah.
Turtles. Uh, yeah, it's 1986. You don't see before 88 stuff too
No.
often as far as like big things. Yeah, and I got a 1990 like gift bag. Like the paper bags with
Is
string.
that the one where he's pumping? There's one with Michelangelo like pumping iron too, like a pumping pizza power.
This one was like red with the turtles like across it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that made me really happy. I was like, yeah, a gift bag.
Oh, what's cool too is every little toy in your collection, because like you said to us earlier, eBay, Schmeebay. It seems like if I went to visit your lair and I asked you, what's this? Every toy or part of your collection also has a story with it, right? Like this I got in a garage. It seems like every toy has its own unique story.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Mike, you'll have to hit him up to ask about that stick hockey game.
Oh, yeah.
Where to find one. So
I'd be down for that. That was one of well, I saw the Dueling Dudes. That was another one of my favorites, dude. The Rock'em Sock'em Mikey Shredder. That was one of my favorites. I saw that.
You're like, you got a line on this?
Yep.
Dueling Dudes over there. The sewer hockey.
That's one of my favorites. Played it with my dad all the
It's up
time.
there. I got the tic-tac-toe.
You could have your own Olympics too. We got the Winter Olympics going. You could have the Turtle Games right in the Turtle lair.
Yeah, I think there's
Plenty
another
of events.
guy already doing that. I know there is because I made a poster for him. Because I'm also a graphic designer. And
it might be the nice.
what happened?
You just said nice. You're still here.
Nice.
Hold on a sec. Oh,
You're still here.
Sorry, my screen just went to a different screen. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. You're still here. We're just getting to the end part where we usually like to talk about pizza and all that. I know being a Turtles fan and all that, you must have a special connection to pizza. Do you have a favorite topping or a set of toppings on your pizza?
I mean, before anybody asks, pineapple on pizza isn't my favorite, but I'll eat it. But I mean, for me, I think as you get older, your pizza toppings change. I love like loaded up. Give me pepperoni, bacon, lots of extra cheese, like loaded up. Put sausage on there, like put every animal you can. You know what I mean?
The works,
right? Like, yeah, meat lovers all the way.
Okay, all right.
As you get older, and so do your arteries and stuff. Right now, we get like chicken and mushroom and green peppers, which is also good. Not as fun, but it's good. Like, there's not really bad pizza.
Okay. Well,
Right.
every episode that I do, I put a pizza recipe at the end. So that's why I asked for your input. So it's like, all right, let me find something that's kind of like a mix of all those, but maybe I'll find something with just like chicken and green bell peppers and mushrooms or something for you. So
Right. I love green olives too.
Well, actually, here we go. Because you're from Canada, so is the Canadian bacon on pizza better? Is that the one you prefer? If we're talking bacon, is there a difference?
Oh yeah, you guys call, what is it that you call Canadian bacon? I think it's female bacon. Our bacon is the same as your bacon, but you call female bacon. It's kind of like the ham with the like stuff around the outside of it. You call it Canadian bacon. We call it female bacon.
You're too funny, Mike. I knew you were going to ask that too. So it's like,
hey, it could have been worse. I could have asked him if he had maple syrup on his pizza, like the '87 cartoons for their syrup on.
I would do that. I would try that.
I would put maple syrup on, like, why not? Like on a sausage pizza. Have you never put syrup on your sausages, or is that a Canadian thing too? Right? Why not?
So you think about it. Let's design this pizza. So you've got crumbled up bits of breakfast sausage, right? Maybe pieces of pre-cooked waffle on there. What else would you put on this pizza? I'm guessing no tomato sauce. So it's a white pizza with this on it and the maple syrup glaze on top.
Oh, let me see.
That sounds good. Or maybe you use like sawmill gravy instead of sauce and some eggs. Breakfast pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
I've actually got them to not put the pizza sauce and put barbecue sauce.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Put barbecue sauce and you put some chicken and some like ground beef on there and the cheese. Yeah, and it's like a lots of cheese, and it's like a cheeseburger pizza.
The theme here is cheese. Are you picking up on that, Mike? That he likes the cheese.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting. So, all right.
Load it up.
That's awesome. Well, Dave, I think it's been a blast. Like, I'm glad that we got to talk about pizza. We got to hear like a little snippet of your song. That was just like the best and all that. I want to thank you.
That will be coming.
Yeah, we'll be looking for that. I've got you at the TMNT Collector or at TMNT Collector and on all social media. Website is the TMNT Collector.
The TMNT Collector.
So it is like the Batman, the TMNT Collector. So we can find you there. You know, do you have any upcoming events that you'll be doing?
Yeah, I have I still perform hip hop shows, but I perform with my friend Chalk Lair. He's a pretty well-known artist up here in Canada. We have a show in Woodstock, March 27th. Let me see. Cons. Yeah, not till, I don't know. I'd have to look at my con schedule.
No worries. Well, we'll just we'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah,
we'll put a link
on Instagram, man. I put everything that I'm doing there. I actually was just working on my actual I was just actually working on my 2026 schedule now that I have all of my like dates set up. But
hopefully we'll see you at Granite State maybe one year.
I have talked to Granite State people a couple of times. We'll see if they understand the value.
Come on, Scott, get with it. So I said it, you didn't have to. So now we love Scott. He's been a guest on the show. So, all right, Mike, why don't you bring it home for Shellanomics here?
All right, if you guys want to check out more retro gaming, we actually have a speed run of the TMNT NES game in under 30 minutes, faster than a pizza delivery. Yeah, we've been gaming a lot on Twitch. I'm sure like, what? So we've got that one down. We have a couple videos that pay it forward. We actually have our own podcast as well, where we break down anything with the Ninja Turtle media. We have broken out all the cartoons, and as Dave said, he's got an IDW comic collection. We're starting to deep dive into that. We're big shout out to TMNT Talk. He's helped me break down those. We're on books 5 and 6 this week. And yeah, if you got if Turtles your thing, stop on by the channel. We'd love to have you and talk Turtles with you.
Hey.
All right, and anyone listening to the audio, we'll be right back with your pizza recipe. And thanks for joining us.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time.
All right, what a perfect pizza recipe for our talk with Dave. Deep dish pizza with spicy sausage and olives. So you start off with your dough. For the dough, the ingredients: 1 1/2 teaspoons active dry yeast, 1 1/2 cups of warm water from 100 degrees to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 cups of bread flour, 1 3/4 cups all-purpose flour plus more for dusting, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons kosher salt, 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil plus more for the bowl. For the pizza, 1 teaspoon extra virgin olive oil, 8 ounces of hot Italian sausage, about 3 links, casings removed, pinched into 3/4 inch pieces, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese plus more for topping, 8 ounces low moisture mozzarella cheese, half cut into slices, half shredded, 1/2 cup of pizza sauce, 1/4 cup of canned sliced black olives drained, finely chopped fresh parsley for topping. Step 1. Make the dough. Sprinkle the yeast over the warm water in a bowl. Let stand until dissolved or slightly foamy for about 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, whisk the bread flour, all-purpose flour, sugar, salt in a large bowl, and make a well in the center. Pour the yeast mixture into the well and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Stir with a wooden spoon until a shaggy dough forms. Turn the dough out into a lightly floured surface. Dust the dough with flour. Knead, dusting for more flour as needed until it's very smooth and elastic but still tacky, about 3 to 5 minutes. Step 3. Transfer the dough into an oiled bowl, turning to coat. Cover with plastic wrap and let rise in a warm place until it's doubled in size for about 1.5 hours.
Step 4, divide the dough into 2 balls. You only need one for this. You can freeze the other one, and that'll be good for about 2 weeks. Step 5, put a pizza stone, baking steel, or inverted large baking sheet into the lower third of the oven. Preheat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Use convection setting if available. Step 6, make the pizza. Heat the olive oil in a skillet over medium-high heat. Add the sausage and cook, stirring occasionally until browned and cooked, about 5 to 7 minutes. Remove to a paper towel-lined plate with a slotted spoon, let cool, and dry. Step 7. Press the dough to reach the edge of the pan, and then press the dough to slide up to create a lip that is 1/2 to 3/4 inch high than the center of the dough. Top the Parmesan and sliced mozzarella, leaving a 1/2 inch border around the edge. Spread the pizza sauce over the cheese, almost to the edge, and top with the sausage, olives, and shredded mozzarella. Step 8. Place the pan on a hot stone and bake the pizza until the crust is golden brown and the cheese is bubbling with brown spots, about 12 to 15 minutes. Let cool 5 minutes, then loosen the edge with a small offset spatula and remove the pizza to a cutting board. Sprinkle with Parmesan cheese and chopped parsley. Pro tips, put a layer of cheese under the sauce. It prevents the crust from getting soggy and it keeps the cheese from over-browning. If you have a convection settings on your oven, now is a good time to use it. It'll help the thick crust cook more evenly. And that is your pizza recipe for the day. Deep dish pizza with spicy sausage and olives.
Cowabunga, dudes!
Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, Nickelodeon Studios, or Paramount. This podcast is a part of the Dorkening Podcast Network and the Collectors Maze Network, and is sponsored in part by Deadly Grounds Coffee, coffee to die for. Check out our other shows on thedorkening.com and thecollectorsmazenetwork.com. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper. Be sure to check out some of our other amazing shows on the Dorkening, like Splash Pages, Retro Redoctopus, Comics Paradox, The Dork Knight, Bear at Night Podcast, The Old Man Wade Show, Hooked on Movies, Token with the Dead, and The Wicked Horror Show. And check out the amazing shows on the Collectors Maze Network, The Creature Designer, Glyph Keepers, Cost for Hope, Road Tripvia, Realmcast, Eat, Drink, and Game, Floor Access, Scooby Addicts, A Cartridge and a Quest, Nerdless Miniatures, Welsh Wizarding Collector, and House of Geekery.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for, and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Redoctopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Seed's trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
It took me 10 years to make the perfect man cave.
And then we took it over. And we made it into the multiversal chamber.
Then I started my own podcast.
And we took that over too. And we're the co-hosts, the Multiverse Kids.
Yeah, and I'm the dad, the geeky dad. And every week, we what?
We review the movies, shows, and books, games, and toys.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have a special guest. So, join us every week on the Geeky Dad Podcast.
Hello, intrepid listeners. This is the Generation Playlist Podcast, a podcast about music where we are your guides through a particular group or artist.
We talk about the music, and then we make a customized playlist to share with you, our listeners. And you can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts and find our playlists on Spotify.